It is rare for any Prime Minister of India to visit abroad after the announcement of Lok Sabha elections. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made an exception. Bhutan remains at the center of focus of India's Neighbourhood First Policy, and there is a strong bond of friendship, mutual trust and goodwill between the two countries. Hello, welcome to India World Insight channel. In today's video we will know why Prime Minister Modi visited Bhutan in the middle of this Lok Sabha election, and why India-Bhutan relations are so important. So let's start the video, but if you like our videos with such detailed analysis, then subscribe to the channel, we keep bringing such great videos for you. First of all, let's know what happened in this visit. During this visit, the Prime Minister was awarded the country's highest civilian award, the Order of the Druk Gyalpo, by the King of Bhutan Jigme Khesar Namgyel Wangchuck at a ceremony held in Thimpu. PM Modi was conferred the award for his outstanding contribution to the development of India-Bhutan relations and his distinguished service to the Bhutanese nation and people. PM Modi's visit to Bhutan was a part of the Government of India's emphasis on the Neighbourhood First Policy. During his visit, PM Modi has pledged India's support to Bhutan's development efforts and committed to provide 10,000 crore rupees for Bhutan's 13th five-year plan. This was PM Modi's second meeting with his Bhutanese counterpart in a month. The two leaders had met in New Delhi earlier this month in March. Bhutan is a good neighbor of India, and the relationship between India and Bhutan is also very strong. India is always ready to help Bhutan and also contributes to Bhutan's development. Bhutan also balances its relationship with China, keeping India's interests in mind, and always takes India into confidence while making its decisions. It keeps India informed about the activities taking place on the Chinese side. Let us understand here what are the important things related to China, which are also related to India and Bhutan. China has long been trying to persuade Bhutan to have a diplomatic mission in the country, but Bhutan has opposed such efforts, understanding Indian sensitivities. It has focused more on resolving the border dispute with China. Thimpu will hold the 25th round of border talks with Beijing in 2023 after a gap of 7 years, and surprised many by claiming that Bhutan is very close to resolving the border issue. And Bhutan has kept India duly informed about its border talks with China, taking care that these efforts are not detrimental to India's security interests. The Bhutanese king's visit to India last year, 6 months after his last visit and amid reports about China-Bhutan border talks, was seen by some as Bhutan's way of reassuring a worried India. However, now that the talks are in the final stages, Bhutan is cautious about any Indian military-related initiatives passing through its territory, such as the proposal to build a road from Tawang in Arunachal to Bhutan that will go up to Guwahati. Bhutan wants to wait until its border with China is demarcated, as failing that will lead to Beijing hardening its position on disputed areas in the north. India does not intend to stop any attempt by a sovereign country to resolve its dispute with another neighbor, but India will certainly be wary of what may happen next, as China has already said that they want to enhance demarcation with the establishment of diplomatic relations and expansion of economic cooperation. In resolving all these border disputes, Bhutan also faces a major dilemma, and that is Doklam. Let us understand how. The biggest of all concerns for India is how any agreement on the Bhutan-China border will affect the status of the Doklam region on the India-Bhutan-China trijection, which is located very close to India's Siliguri corridor, which connects the northeastern states to the mainland. The disputed region, which India believes belongs to Bhutan but China claims it, saw a major military confrontation in 2017 when India objected to China building a road through the disputed plateau. Since then, India has repeatedly reminded China of the 2012 consensus that any attempt to determine the trijection points should involve all the concerned countries. Significantly, Bhutan has also held extensive talks with India to expedite the demarcation of the border with China, including progress in talks with Beijing on the Doklam issue. Even the new government has assured India that it will not back down from its claim on the border line from Doklam in the west to Serjandala in the east as desired by the Indian authorities. Let us now understand how important India is for Bhutan's development. India's development assistance to Bhutan has been the mainstay of its ties with the country since the early 1960s. India pledged 5,000 crore rupees, 73% of Bhutan's external grant component, for Bhutan's 12th five-year plan, helping it implement over 600 projects. It has promised to further enhance assistance for the 13th plan that came into effect this year. Hydropower cooperation is the most striking feature of this cooperation, with India having so far built 4 major hydropower projects in Bhutan. 2 more are under construction. India continues to be Bhutan's top trading partner and main source of investment, accounting for 50% of FDI. There is also a focus on enhancing cooperation in new areas such as space, fintech and e-learning. Cross-border connectivity is another area that both governments are focusing on. The two governments are working to establish rail connectivity between Banrahat in West Bengal and Samtse in Bhutan. In addition, they are also working to establish rail connectivity between Kokrajhar in Assam and Gyalpo in Bhutan. India is also helping to improve road, air and digital connectivity, focusing on areas such as health, agriculture, skills and cultural preservation. The Indian government has also supported the King's Gyalpo Mindfulness City project for sustainable development, which is expected to further improve investment and economic ties. According to the Ministry of External Affairs, the development partnership has moved forward into new and emerging areas, with full interoperability of the flagship digital project Rupai, which has been successfully completed. Bhutan has become the second country to launch the Bhim app, further deepening the financial ties between our two countries. This is what an official Indian statement said about the ongoing cooperation between the two countries. India-Bhutan relations are founded on trust and goodwill. As the only Indian neighbor not to have joined China's BRI, despite various inducements, Bhutan has perhaps been more attentive to Indian interests than any other country in the region. India's dependence on India for its development needs has been a key factor, and Thimpu considers India's assistance good for its socio-economic development. Bhutan now has a new government, and this visit is an opportunity for India to reiterate its commitment to a strong development partnership driven by Bhutan's needs and priorities. China's growing presence in Bhutan is a matter of concern for India. New Delhi is closely monitoring the talks between its two neighbors on border demarcation. Under the previous Bhutanese government, Thimpu's border talks with China made little progress, which is a matter of concern for India. India is concerned that an agreement between Thimpu and Beijing could involve swapping Doklam, which is close to the trijection between India, Bhutan and China, for disputed areas in the north. India considers the Doklam Plateau to be undisputed territory of Bhutan, while Beijing considers it an extension of its Chumbi Valley, which lies between Sikkim and Bhutan. The plateau is close to the strategically important Siliguri corridor, which connects the Indian mainland to the northeast. The corridor also links India with Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan and Bangladesh. And India would absolutely not want any change in the boundary in the region, such as Bhutan giving up Doklam to China in exchange for another part of China. This is not in India's interest, so India is keeping a close watch on this, and that is why the Prime Minister of India visited Bhutan even after the announcement of the Lok Sabha elections, so that Bhutan can be taken into confidence and whatever decision is taken should be in India's interest. Last year, Bhutan and China signed a cooperation agreement for a joint technical team on delimitation and demarcation of the border between the two countries. China is also keen to establish formal diplomatic relations with Bhutan. Amidst all this, frequent visits between the prime ministers of the two countries indicate strong relations between Bhutan and India. And all this increases the hope that Bhutan will take forward the relationship with China, keeping India's interests in mind. That's all for today's video. See you in the next video. Join our channel for such insightful knowledge, and for now, if you like our video then like the video. If you have any suggestion then tell us in the comment. Also do not forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Jai Hind.